There's a new street fighter on your windowsill. The weapon is peace, the word is chill.
Hello Marvel Legends and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behavior, and this is an interesting one. I am doing the top 10 action figures of all time, my personal favorites. Whew! Had to make that very clear there for a second. These are not the official top 10 best action figures of all time. These are just my favorite action figures in my collection, because a lot of people have been asking me this question, and I think you can all agree this is a near impossible question to answer because my feelings change on a day-to-day basis. But I had to just force myself, right, as of this moment, what are your top 10? What top 10 figures are jumping off the shelf and just making you think, yeah, you are beautiful. So here we go. First of all, covering all different lines and genres, my number 10 pick is... That's my Godzilla impression. Godzilla, the king of the monsters. I know, right? Kind of outside the box, but I love Godzilla, and this has always just been a favorite of mine since NECA released him. And I chose this one in particular because this is not the classic Godzilla design. Normally, if I'm only going to have one representation of a character, I want it to be the most classic, but I went for this one from the Tokyo SOS movie because he is so much brighter. He's got all this scarring on the front, which they call it scarring, but actually you could easily just believe this is Godzilla like powering himself up. This is all the nuclear energy inside him, because the standard Godzilla from this era, is it the Heisei era, I think? He's the same mold, essentially, but just without this yellow. He's just green all over, so he's quite dull to look at. He can get lost on the shelf quite easily, whereas this guy, with the beautiful blue fins, and of course the yellow bright scarring here reflecting under his chin, that just makes him pop off the shelf so much better. So this is a perfect entry, number 10. Plus he's got great little articulation. He's got the jaw that opens and closes. This is my favorite kind of Godzilla head as well. I love that they almost give him like little sort of ears almost. It makes him look sort of reptilian but kind of doggish as well, and everyone loves a dog, so that makes the badass looking Godzilla also kind of relatable and lovable too, with a huge big articulated tail as well that holds its position too. This is an easy number 10 spot for my best action figures or favorite action figures in my collection. Coming in now, you know it wouldn't take long to get a Marvel Legend here, and we have the 80th anniversary Hulk. They really nailed this guy. Now we've got the select one as well, so you can, choose whichever one you want. The select being a little bit bigger. I think they got the proportions just right with this for my tastes. Hulk can be as big or as small as you want. It's however an artist chooses to draw him or however you want to represent him. This one for me just nails that sweet spot just right. The fact he came in a 2-pack with first appearance Wolverine as well, those two look amazing together, but I wanted to try and limit it to just one figure from a 2-pack. And this Hulk with the removable shirt as well works so well. The classic sort of 60s, 70s Hulk face there. Beautiful detailing, great look on his face, so good. Or just a little sculpting with the toes, and you can see how the paint is the lighter green and fades out, so it's not just one block of color. The lovely stitching and the rips and the tears in the purple jeans. Again, purple ripped jeans with the white shirt. This is just quintessential, perfect, original Hulk. They threw some green into the hair as well. It feels like Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno, but also kind of Jack Kirby. It's all those most classic iterations of the Hulk in this here. Plus the fact that he's so bright and colorful, jumps off of the shelf. I love this guy. Now I told you we were going to mix things up, and we sure are, because it's time for the big guns. The Hot Toys. I only have a couple of Hot Toys, but Robocop was an absolute essential. This was the first Hot Toys figure that I got because I've always been like, Robocop has been my number one movie franchise character since I was a little kid who was far too young to be watching Robocop. And Hot Toys absolutely nailed this figure incredibly. The great thing about Robocop is that he lends himself so perfectly to an action figure because you don't have to try and recreate that uncanny valley human appearance. You can literally literally just sculpt his armor exactly how it looks in the movie, and that's it right here. All the details, all the joints, everything. He even has the pistons in the back of his legs that actually move and contract with him. He has so much going on for him. Plus, this actual set came with his dock chair as well that he can sit in. Came with 3 different removable mouthpieces, so you could have like stoic, the which I kind of have there, and also like a sort of a half speaking sort of like ooh kind of look, which is funny because it actually, each expression in my head, I can be like, yeah, I know exactly where that's from in the movies. And that's just really crazy. And I love this kind of like half-drawn, he's about to open fire on like Ed 209 or some big enemy of some sort. It just looks so cool. I adore this guy. And again, that's where you can probably tell at this point, this top 10 is not in a specific numerical order because Lord knows, some of these guys could be number 1 or it's just too hard to say. Our next figure now might be a real surprise to some, but hear me out on this. I've got McFarlane Toys Shao Kahn. Now, a lot of people talk a lot of smack about McFarlane Toys. Remember, these guys were like the trailblazers in the 90s. Now, first of all, Shao Kahn is just a badass design. Like a 7-foot boss with a giant mallet and a skull mask. Yeah. So, of course, I'm going to want a toy representation of him. Now, don't get me wrong. If I had a gasquillion pounds, I would buy the Storm Collectibles one in a heartbeat. I would buy the crap out of it. I would buy all the Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat figures. They look incredible, but I don't have that kind of money. I wish I did. But as a substitute Shao Kahn, this guy is terrific. The fact that his mallet is removable, you can fit it in one hand, both hands. He doesn't have a lot of other accessories. It'd be nice if you could remove his helmet, but that's surplus to requirements because why would you not display Shao Kahn with his helmet? And the fact that he's got the bright, shiny, golden armor, and even though I will always go for like the classic MK2 Shao Kahn, give him the chance, I do love this more sort of kind of Chinese, I think I'm not an expert, but I'd say sort of a Chinese Oriental Mandarin kind of looking armor. That looks really, really cool. So I really dig this character. A little bit of an outside the box choice, possibly. You might be like, oh, Shao Kahn, didn't see that one coming. But yeah, an easy placement on the top 10. Going back to the chunky figures now, and we have a big gun, but it's time for the big gun. MP10 Optimus Prime. Now I know I just did a review and unboxing of the MAS01 Optimus Prime, which is just in a league of its own, so much so that I didn't want to include him in this top 10 action figures list because, well, first of all, I've just done like a 20-minute feature on him, so we've covered him, but also, like, it almost feels unfair to kind of compare, but I mean, yeah, that guy is incredible. But if we're going for more action figure kind of size, this masterpiece, this is the original Optimus Prime masterpiece, and the fact he came out like, geez, I don't know, like 15 years ago, maybe? He still holds up, like, beautifully, and also, he transforms. That's the crazy thing. And Optimus Prime, there's something just wonderfully clever about his design, that he's one of the few Transformers who actually can convert from robot mode to vehicle mode and actually look great in both. Even the original, like, 1984 figure, like, it worked. It worked really well. This one, he's got the opening chest cavity. He's got his huge big rifle. I'm trying to, like, manipulate him here, but as you can see, space is at a premium. So yeah, Optimus Prime he's heavy. He's really heavy because he's made with the die-cast metal. He has the rubber tires on the wheels. So much great stuff going on here. I adore this Prime. Next, we're going back to the Marvel Legends with a figure that should be no surprise to anyone who watches this channel regularly. It is, of course, you see the bike? It is the Ghost Rider, the figure that inspired me to start making these videos when I got him, and I had to just give out about how much I loved him, even if he can't hold onto his chain. This figure is so cool, probably going back to the Shao Kahn philosophy of he has a flaming skull for a head. Wow, could you not love that? The fact that it's got a beautiful wash on it as well to give it that depth as well. He's got the translucent flames. He's got the bike, where the bike has the removable shield as well, so you can have two different versions of him. He's got the flaming chain that does the beautiful kind of transition from the flames to the regular chain. He's got his penance stare in his eyeballs there, the red and articulated jaw. Oh my God! Of all the Marvel Legends, this is always going to be one of my absolute favorites.
Those are a few of our favorite movies.
Coming up next, we're going back to another Hot Toys figure, the second Hot Toys figure in this ranking, and it is the battle-damaged T-800 figure. Oh my God. I mean, come on, I played this guy for a living. Of course I'm gonna have to have a Terminator figure, and what a Terminator figure this guy is. I've got the regular one with the minigun and, you know, without all the damage on him, who looks fantastic. But if I have to choose one, I'm gonna choose the one with the most just interesting features and details. The way he's got his flesh blown away, revealing the Terminator skeleton. The eye itself lights up red. That's so cool. He's got all of his damaged scarring on his chest here as well. You see, you can pull the material back and like, there is so much going on here. It's funny, I recently gave out online about how I'm not a fan of cloth clothes on figures. This is the exception to the rule, probably because it's my channel and I can say so, but also like it's so torn up and ripped to pieces. Like it just, I think like spandex superhero costumes, I feel look a bit funny when they're done with actual cloth, because it feels a bit Adam West Batman, but when it's actual like clothing, I think it can work. That's me just setting the rules to suit myself. And this one in particular, like the amount of detail in the leather jacket. He comes with two jackets, one without the ripped arm, because there you go, it's another thing you can change. You can actually have the non-broken arm, what I'm trying to say. But you see with this one, it's all twisted up with the pistons and everything ripped off. So cool, the detailing in the knee where all the flesh again has been ripped away. I adore this guy so much. Not only that, but he comes with a T-1000 blob as well, where you can recreate the moment in the movie where he punches through the T-1000's head and it morphs and grabs his hand. So amazing. I don't display it like that because I just don't have the space for the T-1000. I should probably show them in all their glory at some point. But yeah, this guy, absolutely incredible. The detailing, like the Schwarzenegger face, it's like, it's almost that kind of uncanny valley. But the fact that he's actually playing, you know, a robot means that the uncanny valley, I'm trying to manipulate everything here, the uncanny valley effect actually works to its advantage. He looks a little bit synthetic, but kind of disturbingly human too, the way that he should. So yeah, oh my God, love this guy. Next up now, we're going over to the NECA Turtles, the animated NECA Turtles with the animated Krang. I think it was seeing this figure that made me decide that I want to get the NECA Turtles. I mean, I wanted to get them obviously, but I was like, oh, that's a big line to get into. But I saw this guy and I was like, oh my goodness, they nailed him so well. Like, he's straight out of the cartoon. The fact that you've got the little Krang inside and you can position his little tentacles around the joysticks, which actually move. And he has so many different variants of parts. He has wrecking ball hands and spinning things that I can't think of the name of, but he has so much going on with this figure. He has a towel to wrap around his head and a bathrobe to wear. It's like, it's insane, so goofy, but so much fun. I love this figure, and this guy made me want to get all of the animated Turtles, and I regret nothing. Staying with the Turtles, but going over to the movie figures now, we have NECA Leonardo. And look, I could have chosen any one of those Turtles figures, but this one in particular, I just feel they've got the beauty of, you know, Leo's expression straight from the movie. Again, they get all the Turtles' expression straight from the movie, but again, like I could have gone for Shredder, I could have gone for Super Shredder. There's so many figures, it's so difficult to maneuver myself around here. I've made it a rod for my own back by insisting, no, Dave, you need to have all the figures on display at all times, otherwise what's the point? But yeah, look at this guy, and I can't sort of give him all the justice because the main thing that I think works so well for this figure is the eyes. The eyes have it, like they actually have a beautiful kind of sheen to them. They look like organic eyes. It's insane. But the shading on the shell, just everything about him, the minute details, this is just a beautiful, like, I feel like it's like a museum quality action figure. It's just, I can't, give out about this figure enough. Absolutely love him. And finally, my number one action figure as of this moment has to be Storm Collectibles Streets of Rage Axel Stone. Streets of Rage is my childhood. Playing Streets of Rage on the Mega Drive with my sister, that is the 1990s right there for me. So when we got a new Streets of Rage game, my god, I was so happy. And then we got these, well, I say these, hopefully these, but at the moment, this singular Axel Stone Streets of Rage figure. And this is my first Storm Collectibles figure as well. And gosh, I love them so much. They, first of all, just capture the beautiful animated Axel Stone look incredibly. He has 3 different heads, so many accessories. He's got 3 different flame effects. There's a flame effect bigger than this one, which I put on Pyro from the X-Men. But yeah, all the different weapons. I gave him the broken bottle because that's a fun one. But also the material, I'm no expert. I don't know what kind of plastic or rubber it is, but it's really soft. It's a really soft kind of rubber that allows you to move and manipulate him so well. He's just a stunning figure with so much character in his face and his expression. So this is the look, but he has like a stoic sort of one as well, and kind of a grimace. There's so much going on with him, and he's just beautiful. I wouldn't want to get a huge amount of these figures because they do cost a heck of a lot. But if they do a Blaze action figure, I will 100% have to get her. But in the meantime, this guy is an easy number 1 pick for today. And folks, that is my list of top 10 favorite action figures as of this moment. And come on, you know me, any one of these guys could have been swapped out for any other figure in this collection, let alone the NAS Transformers. So I just wanted a fun smorgasbord, if you will, of incredible action figures, and this definitely fits the bill. I love these guys, and I hope you enjoyed watching me give out about how awesome they are. So folks, until next time, keep displaying model behavior.